So this is just a friendly reminder to my fellow fatties that if you're on public transit, you are allowed to take up space. And if someone is so brazen to say to you can't go there, you're not gonna fit, you're allowed to snap back at them and say, shut the fuck up, I know my own body a little. Which is what I just did to this fucking fat phobic piece of shit on this bus.
I don't think that happened, but good on you for making up that story.
Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Body Honesty Project. My name is Lydia, and today I have for you episode 3 of Fat Acceptance Foursquares. And boy do I have the panel you've been waiting for, because I have with me today Cynical Dude, Sam at Every Size, and Big T Bariatric. And we will be talking about various fat acceptance topics, such as weight stigma, bariatric surgery, and the use of mobility scooters, as well as talking about popular personalities like Marissa Mathews, Jordan Hall, and of course, Tess Holliday. Now, this video is a little bit different than the first 2 times I played this game, because in the recording of this video, I might have made a little mistake. You see, I was testing out how to record with 2 monitors. So I had myself on one monitor, and I had my 3 guests on a different monitor. But when I went to look at the recording back, I only captured the 3 of them. I didn't actually capture myself. I mean, my audio is part of the video, but my face is not. And I knew that my colleagues were gonna razz me about this if I came back to them and told them that I messed up. Because, well, we've messed up many times in the past. Many of the recordings that you've seen have been second or sometimes third takes because we've had various issues in the past. And at the end of this recording, Sam even teased to me,
You might have to do it again. Was she recording? Were you recording?
Yeah, were you recording? I'll go again. I'll go again right now if we have to.
So I really wasn't ready to go back and admit to my colleagues that I kind of messed it up and we have to do it again. But since the rest of the recording was fine, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna animate the parts where I'm speaking. And in all honesty, I don't think that it detracted from the conversation at all. So I hope you enjoy this edition of Fat Acceptance Foursquares. First topic that I'm gonna throw is gonna be at Cynical. And I want Cynical to discuss what it is about plus size travel that's a problem.
Okay. Well, I think that trying to change the infrastructure of the world to accommodate you is a bad idea. If everybody has been fitting into this infrastructure for the past several hundred years, which they have, then I don't think we need to change it. The only thing that has changed recently is the way that people eat. So now we have people that are 400 pounds and up, and they can't fit into ancient European buildings anymore, right? If you want to see how big people used to be, go to an ancient cathedral in Europe that's hundreds of years old, and you won't find any widened hallways. And I think that to go around and reshape everything is a terrible idea on the basis of structural integrity as well. Like, you can't just widen a hallway. The whole building's going to come down. So in that regard, I think it's a bad idea as well. And I think it's very short-sighted to want everybody to change when you're unwilling to change yourself, right? Like, let's change this whole world so I don't have to look in the mirror and deal with my own shortcomings. It's not mentally healthy to just be not confronting your own personal issues and taking your personal inventory. How much time do I got? Oh my God. Oh my God. I've got so much time left. So also, when it comes to plus size travel, I think, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know why I'm putting those gloves on. I think that if you have the ability to get to be 500 pounds, it's ironic if you were to go around talking about other people's privilege and how you have thin privilege if you can fit into a seat. One could argue that it's very privileged to be able to get to be 500 pounds. In ancient society, that was a privilege that nobody was afforded. So, yeah, I disagree with rearranging the world. I think if you want to travel as a plus-size person, you're going to have to change yourself to fit into the plane, the train, the automobile, or the hotel of the place you're trying to go, right? You want to go to a country where everything is designed for smaller people and then demand them to make everything larger. It's short-sighted, it's foolish, and it's ironic that you want everybody to do the work that you're unwilling to do. Okay, let me ask Sam at every size. It's good to meet you, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you think that weight stigma is harmful? And if you think it is it more harmful than the medical conditions that it causes, such as diabetes? Sorry, I hit you
Oh,
with the
golly.
hard ones, huh?
No, this is a good one. And it is always interesting to me. My experience as a plus size person has never been that is described by fat acceptance. I find it so intriguing that they're always like, people have said this thing to me or that thing to me, like out on the street. In my recent Marissa Mathews video, she was saying that she like dealt with a fat phobic piece of crap on the bus, right? And I was like, I don't think that happened, but good on you for like making up that story. Because those things just don't happen. And if they do, they're very like they're very in their own heads, right? Like this group of people was laughing, so that means that they're laughing at me, when like that's not necessarily true. That's your internalized anxiety. So there's that part of it. But when it comes to weight stigma and health, I will say doctors are literally the worst people. I get it. Like, as someone who's been plus size and dealt with weight issues and hormone issues my whole life, like I've said it in a video, my childhood doctor one time greeted me saying, Weight Watchers is a great program. Like, before she even said hello, that was the first thing she said when she came into the room. And so, like, that can be a very intense interaction, but also I'd known her for a really long time and I knew that she was kind of a jerk. So I wasn't surprised. I didn't change anything, but it also didn't make me like spiral out of control, I guess, if that makes sense. So in my humble opinion, I do not think that weight stigma is worse than the health problems that having this extra weight causes to your body. And a lot of these fat activists are really young. And as you notice, when they start to hit 30 or 40, like they disappear or they get quieter. There's a reason for that. It's like all the things that they're like, no, that's not going to happen to me. It's setting in and reality is finally hitting them. So I think it just speaks for itself that the health issues are worse than the stigma could ever be.
I agree.
I really think that the whole age thing is pivotal. Like, these loudmouth fat activists are all in their 20s. Like, yeah, your blood work is fine. Now, I don't want to be the person that's ticking the clock on Tess Holliday, but hello?
Are we doing a countdown on Tess? Placing our bets?
She's not making it to 50.
Not if she continues down the path that she's going. She's living the life of a mukbanger, dude. She's like, oh, you guys like this? Okay, I'll do more of that. Like,
yeah. Well, Tess is fascinating to me. She's so far into delusion. Like, her whole life is a delusion. Like, she was just on my for you page and she was like, man, it's been so long. People have asked me like why I haven't been on the internet. She was crying in this video, talking about how people were so mean to her, and she let that stop her. And that's why she stopped posting. And I was like, have you stopped posting? So I went back and I was like, girl, you haven't stopped posting for a day. Like, you missed a week. Yeah. And then the longest she went was back in March. She was gone for a month. Like, do you realize that video evidence exists? Like,
exactly.
I don't understand.
I just stopped posting because of all the fat phobia. And you look and she just got done posting like 10 things. I mean, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so I actually am curious. I know that this was a similar question for Megan when she was on, but I'm curious to know from Big T how it feels to continuously hear the demonization of weight loss surgery. I mean, they go as far as calling it mutilation or self-harm. So I'm curious, like, how you feel about that.
That's an interesting and a good question. I personally don't think that weight loss surgery is for everybody, especially if you're only 50 pounds or even 100 pounds. And I know people who are, oh, I got 30 pounds to lose, let me go get the surgery. But for me personally, I can say that it absolutely saved my life, and I might be dead right now if I didn't get it. And a lot of it goes towards, they think you're just going in to get surgery, you're getting your stomach ripped out or whatever. But there's a lot more that goes into that than just that. I was telling Cynical Dude on the video that we made that there's a lot of counseling that goes into it. There's a lot of waiting and testing things out to see if you are a good candidate. I had to wait 8 months before my surgery. So it wasn't that my doctor pressured me into it, which is what I've heard people say, that, oh, your doctor's going to push you into it because they want the money. No, that wasn't it at all. They do everything they can to try to disqualify me from getting the surgery because they know how difficult it can be. And it's not the easy way out at all. It's very, very hard. And like I said, there's counseling that goes into it. There's many weigh-ins, there's blood tests, and there's scan. They did everything they could to make sure that I was going to have a safe surgery. And they weren't going to do that if I didn't get below 600 pounds, which is what they required me to do. I started at 671. So I had to lose a good amount of weight before I got the surgery. So it's not like they pressured me into it. And when I first got into it years and years ago, I said, you know what, I don't even know if I want the surgery yet, but I'd like to be part of this program because I know there's counseling, I know there's a dietitian, and I know they're going to work with me throughout the process. And if I decided that I wanted to get weight loss surgery later, they were okay with me just being part of the program because they know it helps. So this whole demonization, I think, comes from them not understanding what the whole process is. It's not about pressuring people to mutilate their bodies. And at the end of the day, it absolutely helped me. I didn't have any side effects, except I had a little bit of stomach acid, maybe 3 nights out of the whole last year. I had it a year ago, last October. 3 nights where I had a lot of stomach acid. But outside of that, I had no complications from it. I don't think that I'm mutilated. It just helps me. It's a tool that helped me lose 200 pounds, and it absolutely saved my life. And I think if you are in danger of dying, it's an option that you have, and you get the psychology and the therapy that you need to help overcome your emotional eating issues, and it's going to help you long term.
How dare you shrink your body, Big T? How dare you? Diet culture got you too, huh?
Yep, diet culture
I should
got
have
me.
known, bro.
No, it wasn't my near-death experiences and the absolute pain I was in every single day, being almost
Near death,
700
schmear
pounds.
death. How
No,
dare you
it
try to
wasn't
shrink
none
your
of
body?
that. It was, my doctor pressured me into it.
I
So
am so disgusted by that whole conversation of it pressure. It's the whole diet culture infringing on you. I'm like, Big T, you were in pain.
I ignored it for so long. I ignored my weight issues because I didn't want to give into it. But it got to a point where I was desperate to get it off because I was going to die if I didn't. I was having fatty liver issues and high enzymes, and I was in a tremendous amount of pain. And I got out of breath just walking to the bathroom, which is right here connected to my room. I mean, it's absolutely absurd to think that I was pressured into that because I ignored years of people telling me, Tony, you need to lose weight. Doctors telling me I need to lose weight. Like, it's easy to brush that off when there's nothing wrong with you. Like you say, when you're in your 20s and your blood work is fine and everything else. Once you get closer to 40 and your blood work starts being not fine and your liver's struggling and you're sick all the time and in a tremendous amount of pain, you can't ignore it anymore. And you're going to have to make a drastic step to change your life, which is what I did.
Yeah. And
So your doctor did not pressure you into the weight loss surgery at all?
No, I mean, she
I'm
gave
guessing
it
it's
up as
like
an option.
a last ditch sort of option, right? Like
Yeah.
this didn't work, this didn't work. You want to try this thing?
Yeah, she gave me like a handout with diet information on it, and she had me go see different specialists to make sure I was healthy and stuff. And
She hands you a piece of paper and you read it and it just says you are fat. And you're like, what the this is not helpful.
I'm gonna choose Lydia. And the question that I have is, I often get a lot of people saying that you can't shame anybody into losing weight. Do you agree with that or disagree, or why?
okay. So I actually think that shame is a good thing. Like, shame is what makes us evolve. Shame is what makes us discover what's good or bad. It's not necessarily the worst thing. I think that shame makes us evolve. I think that when I look at myself and if I've just devoured a whole bag of potato chips, there's some shame.
Mhm.
If I look at myself and I have slept all day, there's some shame. I think that shame is good for us to be able to evolve. I think it's good for us to be able to think about the things that we haven't done. I don't believe that shame is something that makes us stuck. Like, I believe that fat acceptance thinks that every single misstep that they take is shameful. But we can compartmentalize those shameful steps and make them like, okay, that was a misstep, but I'm going to move on. That was a misstep, but I'm going to move on. Fat acceptance seems to think like that misstep is just the path of my life, like, and just continue to misstep. Anyways, I think that we can have missteps forever, but grow from them. So if that makes an argument for shame, well, that's my argument for shame.
Is it okay if somebody else shames somebody? Like, because that would be more like bullying, right? If you're like, hey, fatty, lose weight, right? Like, I think that if people get shamed in that fashion, that it's not going to do anything for them. Like, that sort of shaming, I don't think actually helps. Like, if somebody's like, hey, fatty, lose weight, you're gonna be like, what? Screw you. And then you're going to eat more to stick it to them because that's human nature, right? So I think that that sort of shaming is not helpful, but we do feel our own internal shame, and it's valid.
Mm-hmm. I do agree.
You know, even if I tell you to do something that's healthy, if I like come at you in the wrong kind of way, you're not going to take it right? I'm like, hey, stupid, breathe. Hey, dummy, why don't you breathe? Like, you're like, what? Screw you. Right? Like, that's most people.
Okay, so I'm going to launch the next topic to cynical, and this is going to be about Jordan Hall's supermodeling life.
Okay. Well, I think it's very interesting that Jordan can be a model. I think obese modeling is a very interesting thing in general. Typically models like put a lot of work into their physique to look a certain way, and that's why you're a model. You know, you do all this work, and like the rest of us don't want to have that strict of a diet and stuff, but you know, you go ahead, you're a model, you know, you've got the dedication. So the idea that people can literally do nothing and then go model is very interesting to me. Although I guess it makes sense, somebody's got to model these giant clothes, right? I mean, I guess that's the entire purpose. There can be a model of every single size because there's clothing for every single size. I don't know. Jordan has a lot of interesting takes, and I think that they are rich or something. I don't know. They strike me as being very wealthy with the takes that they have, because like everything is somebody else's fault, and it's the discrimination, it's the privilege, it's this, that, and the other thing that's everybody's fault but your own. So that's interesting. I don't really want to like go in on Jordan because I don't know. This person trips me out, man. They're an enigma like Fat Sapphic Bro, where I would just like to study them. Have you watched Lump Legs?
Mm-hmm.
Lump Legs is deleted now, eh? Like
Yeah.
Michelle
made a
made the
video
video
about
about how you listen attacked Lump Legs and then Lump Legs disintegrated.
I never attacked Lump Legs. Sam made that video. Sam was like, to hell with this bitch.
Yeah, well, for me, it's the logic, right? That's my whole channel. And the more that I watched the series, because I was watching them as they came out, because I'm just a naturally curious person. So I needed to know more because I don't know anyone in real life who has lipedema or lymphedema. So I was like, what is this thing? But the more they got into it, the more interesting it got, because you would see Jordan saying things like, well, my doctor told me to buy compression socks and do these leg pumps very early in the process. And he just openly said in a vlog, I decided not to do it. I don't have enough time. And my brain just exploded. I was like, did you just admit on camera and publish to the internet that your doctor told you this would actively fix this problem? And you were like, yeah, no, I'm just not going to do that. It's just not going to happen because I can't do 2 hours. Do 30 minutes every, in the morning and at night. That's better than nothing. And then as time went on, he was like, well, I couldn't afford those compression socks, but now suddenly I'm going to go to Germany for treatment. And I was like, you can't afford compression socks, but you can afford to go to Germany. Like, it's the logic for me. And I was like, okay, well, I'm in now. So I did 2 videos. And what's really funny is when I made my second video, I was really super late filming on the weekend. I had procrastinated, and I made this video because Jordan had responded to someone on TikTok saying like, you've spread misinformation about me. And as I published it on Monday, I realized that Jordan had messaged me on Instagram on a Saturday, basically telling me I was obsessed with him, I was spreading misinformation, and I was like, I'm just not going to respond, but like, these are your own words. I used your videos to make the point. So, okay. And of course, now he's deleted those messages. I was like, oh, I should have screenshotted them. But they're gone.
Did
So.
y'all see my Fat Sapphic Bro thing?
Mm-mm.
There was some kind of drama or something. Fat Sapphic Bros getting in your comments or something. They like to really get up in people's comments and leave all these bizarre comments like, oh, you're so obsessed with me. Have you seen that video? They had like an issue with the hidden channel or something, some beef.
Yes.
And then Fat Sapphic Bro like released a video where the caption at the bottom was like, keep my name out your mouth. And then it was just them looking at the camera like trying to look all mean or something. I just started laughing so hard. I was like, oh my God, bro, what the hell?
I mean,
do you know how mad I am?
I blew this up on my community page, and I also put it. I made a video about it. But like, Fat Sapphic Bro attacked me, and then deleted the thread. Like,
that's what they do.
Like, delete. Like,
that's why I screen record as soon as I see something. Hannah made that crazy video not that long ago that I made a video about, and I was like, she's gonna delete this, I guarantee it. And the next day it was gone, and I was like, haha, I screen recorded it because I knew that they would dirty delete. It's what they do.
Yeah.
Hannah made a crazy video.
Well,
I don't.
The whole thing about I don't know where the setting is of not sending the receipt, right? Like, I don't have any emails from Fat Sapphic Bro. I have no emails from Fat Sapphic Bro. Like, what the hell did they do to make it so that I don't have the receipt?
Oh, I don't even know. That's some next level like FBI shit. Like,
Yeah,
I don't. How do you do that?
Well, that's just the first half of the conversation. The second half of this conversation will be posted later this week. And if you're interested in playing this game, check out my community page, because I'm going to give you the opportunity to play with any of the people that have been on this channel. So if this sounds like something you're interested in doing, leave me a comment in response to that post. And if you haven't seen the first 2 times that we played this game, you're going to want to check out Game 1 that had Alan Roberts, Starzan the Original, and Lola from Beast Train Mean, as well as Game 2 that had Megan Ann, Kayla Shea, and DJ's Fitness. So until next time, stay body positive, but also body honest.